I've been terrible about keeping up with posting and editing these videos, but we did end up joining the group, albeit for we were able to work out a financing plan for it. And so I don't know, it's kind of weird because after joining the group, I remember just like last night I was going to sit down and start going through some of the content and like I don't know. My thing is right now I have a limited window. Or at least maybe I'm just perceiving that I have a limited window, but more or less, I've already gotten in talks with certain people about doing the construction project. So now I'm at the point where, yes, I do need income to be able to support myself, obviously, like pay for car, pay for, just different resources. I still need to buy storage. So there are expenses that I do need for the things that I'm working on. At the same time, I need to make sure that I'm allocating time to actually work on those things. Um, specifically like with coding, getting the infrastructure set up, because for the last couple of weeks, we haven't really done much on that end. And it is frustrating me at this point. And I'm kind of at this just weird spot where I made the $500 to join the group in a pretty short amount of time. But but now I don't know. I'm just at this weird point. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. I wouldn't call it buyer's remorse because, again, financially, like, like right now, I'm at my parents'. So, yes, I'm buying my own food. Yes, I'm buying gas. Yes, I'm paying for my insurance. But I couldn't support myself living on my own just off of Uber. So, obviously, like, Uber as a source of income is okay for getting some initial startup capital to do something else, but it's not by any means covering expenses to the fullest. Controversially, or I don't know if that's the right word for it, but simultaneously, I um I like the time freedom of it. And so I don't know, I'm at this weird spot. I know I need more income, and I would hate to in a couple months when I'm actually sitting down at the table with these guys and they ask me what I've been doing to support myself, and I just tell them I've been living at my mama's house. Like, it's not a good look. So I don't know. I mean, kind of applying what I've learned from past experience, like over the summer, I had ended up leaving Baltimore from my door-to-door team and came back to Tampa, was gonna do real estate calls. Um, Thought I could make enough money, the same amount of money, if not more, than I would have that summer doing the calls. And I ended up coming back and I didn't really do a whole lot, albeit conditions weren't ideal, but still. Um, there wasn't a lot to show for. And I don't know if that was a mistake. I did feel like I needed to distance myself from, the environment that I was in Baltimore. But at the same time, I pulled up at home and like nothing really happened. I'm still here. So I don't know. It's just kind of at a weird point. I need to make sure that I'm spending time actually building the infrastructure because this project, like this, if anything, is going to set me up for life. This project will do it. Okay? Because once I get the project rolling, I'm pretty much just creating the environment for people to get funding for construction projects. That's the number one problem that I've heard from people in the space. I need money so I can fund this project. And so we would be getting pretty much like a dividend to an extent, like we're lending out capital, collect a return. The majority of that return goes back into the funding pool, so it outpaces inflation. But of course, the people running the project need to be paid. And obviously, me being the person to set it up, I want to be paid. So I know this is like the core focus of the year. If I don't hit any other goal, I would be happy if I walked away from this year having hit this goal. So it is a paramount focus. At the same time, I know I need to leave Tampa. Like, as far as the numerology and astrology goes, just some insight. Tampa was incorporated in a pig year, and it was either incorporated or founded in a pig year. But there's pig energy. I'm born year of the snake. We're about to enter year of the snake, so it's just not the ideal city to be in for people who are born in the year that I'm born, 2001. So I know I need capital. I know I want to go to Miami, but obviously you need some money to go there. So I'm just trying to figure out a way that actually makes sense. And given the car that I have is made year of the pig, I don't want to be Ubering in that car, especially post January 29th. So I do know I need to figure something out. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I can't tell if it's just me being lazy because I know I'm not spending enough time even over the last few weeks. I'm waking up late. I'm getting started on things late. I haven't been putting together a proper to-do list. So it's been kind of this meandering effect, and that is on me. That is my fault. But at the same time, like having joined the group, originally it's supposed to be 3K. So we set up a plan where I'm going to pay 1250 next month and the month afterwards, for being part of the group. And I don't think that's unreasonable given the average cleaning job for the windows should be about like 260, we'll call it. But at the same time, again, I'm really wanting to make sure I actually get this thing done because I know it doesn't need to be perfect. I know I'm not like an expert coder or developer, and it would be ideal to put together a team that refines the bones of what I've built rather than just having them build everything from scratch. But um, obviously it still takes time to code the basics. So I know exactly what I need to code for the most part, like the majority, the core functions, I understand. It has been a lot about computer space, but it also has been about me just making time, actually being better at time management because that is something I suck at. Like I'm really not good at it. And I know you're supposed to focus on your strengths. I know many of the people who are the best at their field focus on their strengths and delegate their weaknesses, but like I don't know, like I don't know who to delegate like time management to. Like this is part of being an entrepreneur, knowing what to prioritize at what time. So I don't know. It's a weird feeling right now. And I guess that's why I'm recording this, right? It is to show a little bit about like the mindset, like what's going on in my head as I'm building this project, because the whole goal is to build a $1 billion enterprise, and it's completely possible. I've already outlined how it's possible, but it's like when your brain, like think of it this way. Think of growing up, and growing up, you've always driven in or drove a CLS 63, AMG Mercedes, BMWs, 750i's. And then all of a sudden, you're presented with a '07 Volvo. Like you're like, what the fuck do I do here? I want a Ferrari. And so that's kind of like where I'm at, right? Like I have an opportunity to make some money to be able to go to another place, but at the same time, like my eye is still focused on the big project, and I'm just trying to figure out like what I need to do to get there and actually execute. Because again, like I could care less. I like if I made a successful window cleaning business and I didn't launch my construction company, I would still be pretty disappointed by the end of the year, to be frank. So. I want to make sure the people that I'm working with, I'm doing well by because reputation is key. And I've fumbled my reputation, I feel like, over the last few years. I used to be that guy in high school. Like not necessarily like the most popular guy at school, but smartest guy at school, like for the most part. I mean, I didn't try in school, but like I was top 10 in my class, had a 6.8 weighted, 4.0 unweighted, drove an AMG CLS 63. Um, life was good. And then I didn't properly carry that momentum. And so I'm still recovering off of that. And I feel like everybody goes through those points, especially men. That is part of the journey. There's going to be ups and downs. Um, do your best. Like obviously, if you can go through life making the best decisions constantly, then like that is what you should do. But obviously, there are times where you may fuck up and you have to recover. And that's kind of where we're at. So, now that I do have relationships with new people and I'm starting to scale and create a name for myself in different spaces, I need to make sure that I'm doing right by those people so that I can maintain a good standing and can continue to scale momentum with the type of audience that I'm wanting to grow with. So, I don't want to yap too much, but that's just kind of where I'm at. And I probably just need to execute. Like I know realistically, if I want to go to Miami, yes, the construction project would get me there. But do I want to be sitting at my parents' house trying to build a 8-figure project? ideally it'd be best to have some type of capital so I can go into the higher end places, access higher end networks. So it's kind of where I'm standing. I do know as far as time allocation, because actually, since we're talking about this openly, why don't we actually just try to problem solve? Obviously, I know I need to make sure that I'm delegating time towards building this stuff. And I know the daylight hours are the time that it makes the most sense to do the window cleaning. So daylight hours is going to be anywhere from, I mean, obviously, like people are going to be asleep at a certain time during the morning. So we could say knocking from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., that would be time specifically dedicated towards the windows. 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. to, how do I want to do this? Actually, if I did, well, actually, no, because the thing is, too, I'm also trying to make sure that I'm factoring in like health stuff, right? Going to the gym, eating properly. So I know there's going to be just tons of people at the gym post like during the later part of the day. So honestly, like from if I can use from 4 p.m. to like 9 p.m. to work, that's 5 hours. That's plenty of time, honestly, to code. I do the gym in the morning. I eat in between, like maybe like 4 and 5. Um, that should do it. Honestly, that's good. So I've been trying to like figure this stuff out. Like I was doing this last night, like a little time management sheet. My finger's like, why is it so bright? It's not a whole lot. I was kind of all over with my notes. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I'm just not great with waking up. Maybe it's just the city that I'm in. I remember hearing somebody talk about this with energy, but obviously that's why we're working to get out of it. So yeah, let me stop yapping. We've already went over enough. We know what I got to do. It's to obviously the with the time management, but I think realistically, I do need capital. And I'm like, if I was to not do Windows, I would still be Ubering. I would be spending from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. going out driving, and I'd probably do that 5 to 6 days a week, if not more. So realistically, I'm going to end up spending 20 hours a week plus working actively to cover expenses. Even if I was to, let's say, spend 10 hours knocking, which it shouldn't be half the time, but if I spent 10 hours knocking, 10 hours cleaning, and let's say each cleaning job was 3.3 hours, just to make sure it rounds, at an average of $260, that's still 700, excuse me, that's still $780. That's still way more than what we make doing Uber. So realistically, looking at this from an objective standpoint, yes, it does make more sense to figure out the cleaning of the windows as far as, leveraging my time and making more money. It's just one of those weird situations. I don't know. I guess again, it is one of those learning lessons where you've done something in the past, you apply the knowledge now in the future. So we've already seen the lesson before last summer. Now we're, you know, I guess implementing the right decision with this go around. So I just need to give myself the time and I need to put in the effort. That's all it is. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get things situated. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.